So there are about 13 of you, and your salary is set on the average of the 13.
That is the case for all DFE-IGs. That's in the IG Act as the formula to be
I'm
used.
just asking, are the others set that way too?
The other
The 12 other ones whose salaries are used to get your salary?
I'm not aware of how those are
Okay.
are established.
Okay. And do you get a bonus?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do the others get a bonus?
Yes, that's part of that average that I mentioned.
Okay. Do all 12 of the others get a bonus?
I don't know the answer to that.
Easier to get divorced and get fired at the Fed. That's Senator John Kennedy on the record, looking straight at the Federal Reserve's Inspector General. If that line doesn't stop you in your tracks, nothing will. This is one of those moments where the mask slips, the excuses dry up, and Washington gets very uncomfortable. Grab a seat, get comfortable, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because let's dive right back into it.
And can do its job. Senator Kennedy?
Thank you, Madam Chair. General, welcome. Help me. I tried to listen carefully to my colleagues, but I'm still a little bit confused. You've been IG since 2011, and you do a lot of internal investigations. In other words, did some particular employee at the Fed not do their job? Is that correct?
Yes.
About how many of those you think you've done?
Well, in terms of investigations of potential misconduct or wrongdoing, we have typically had a running average of about 60 or 70 of those. Obviously, the pandemic...
Is that total? 60 or 70 a year?
No, at any point in time.
Okay.
Many of them are closed. New ones come in through our hotline, which we open up. But that's typically a rough gauge for how many investigations we have pending.
Since you've been there in 2011, again, I'm talking internal investigations, would 500 sound right?
I'd have to look into it. I don't want to give you a number.
No, I'm not going to hold you to it. Wasn't many. Is it more? You think it's more than 500?
I would like to look into it and get you an exact number.
Okay. In what percentage of the cases, just ballpark, do you find wrongdoing?
Again, it would be a wild guess, and I'm not comfortable giving one to you, but we can certainly look into that and develop those numbers for you.
Frankly, I would have thought you'd would have that before you came today. We think it's more than half?
No, I would not think so.
More than a quarter?
That's where I'm uncomfortable.
Well, is it happen frequently that you find wrongdoing, or infrequently?
It's not infrequent.
It's not infrequent? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And when you find wrongdoing, are the people who committed the wrongdoing, according to your report, fired?
Sometimes.
Okay. What percentage are fired?
Again, sir, I would like to get you a specific number if that's what you'd like.
Yeah, I think if you could get us that number, and perhaps we could do this again. Because I think people have the right to know that. I don't want to pick on the Federal Reserve. I just want to treat them like everybody else. And my sense is, and I think your numbers can prove or disprove this, but my sense is that it is easier to divorce your spouse than get fired at the Federal Reserve. And if that's the case, we're entitled to know that. It's a lot of money over there. And that's not a criticism of anybody. And tell me again about your salary. It's the average of what?
It's the average of both the salary and the bonus that is attributed to the other individuals who are similarly situated in terms of the organizational structure, which for me is the division director level. So there are 12 other individuals, and it's the average of their salary plus bonus.
Okay. So there are about 13 of you, and your salary is set on the average of the 13.
That is the case for all DFEIGs. That's in the IG Act as the formula to be
I'm
used.
just asking, are the others set that way too?
The other
The 12 other ones whose salaries are used to get your salary?
I'm not aware of how those are
Okay.
are established.
Okay. And do you get a bonus?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do the others get a bonus?
Yes, that's part of that average that I mentioned.
Okay. Do all 12 of the others get a bonus?
I don't know the answer to that.
Do they get a bonus when they say inflation is transitory and it's not? Do they still get their bonus?
I don't have the answer to that.
Okay. How do we get that information?
Requested from the Federal Reserve folks.
How about we call the IG? Can you get it for us?
IG should not be in the position of getting information to turn over if we're not otherwise engaged in an audit or evaluation or investigation.
I know you're in the, if I could have 30 more seconds. I know you're in the process of looking at the bank failures, and I don't want you to, I'm not trying to put you on the spot because you don't know yet, but you know, I find two things ironic. Maybe irony is the wrong word to use, but as a result of these well, strike that. It seems that ever since the Great Recession, we've been very concerned, as we should be, about banks that are too big to fail. Big is dangerous. I'm not against big. I'm against dumb. So, but if you have an institution that is really, really big and it does something dumb, it hurts a lot of people. Nobody ever goes to jail, but that's a separate story. But it looks to me like, as a result of these recent failures, that our big banks are getting bigger. And I find that ironic. Again, maybe the wrong word. I don't know if you're going to look at that in your studies.
Well, Senator, that strikes me as being a straight-ahead policy issue. The Federal Reserve Board decides what rules of engagement for the supervision of banks at different sizes, tailoring. All of those are supervisory, policy-based decisions, and the IGs are prohibited from
really
getting involved in overseeing policy.
Senator Warren and I may disagree with this, but we disagree a lot, but we still like each other. But see, if I ask Mr. Barr that question, I think the answer I'm going to get is, look, the problem with the bank failures is the management did dumb things, and they were incompetent. And yes, some of my regulators were not as proactive as they should have been, but it's Trump's fault. Trump ain't my homework. And I don't think that's a candid...
Senator John Kennedy steps into this hearing, doing what he does best, asking simple questions that expose very uncomfortable truths. He starts by asking the Federal Reserve's Inspector General how many internal misconduct investigations the Fed runs. The answer? Around 60 to 70 at any given time. So Kennedy drills down. Over more than a decade. Wouldn't that mean hundreds of investigations? The IG can't say. Kennedy asks how often wrongdoing is found. Again, no number. Pressed harder. The IG finally admits wrongdoing is not infrequent. Then comes the real question. When wrongdoing is found, do people get fired? The answer is sometimes. What percentage? The IG can't say. Kennedy isn't buying it. He tells the American people what it looks like from the outside. Accountability at the Federal Reserve is almost impossible. That's when Kennedy drops the line that cuts through the fog. He says it seems easier to divorce your spouse and get fired at the Federal Reserve. And no one in the room corrects him. From there, Kennedy turns to pay and bonuses. The IG salary is based on the average salary and bonuses of other top Fed officials. Even when the Fed gets it wrong, like calling inflation transitory, those bonuses still appear to be baked into the system. No clear answers. No transparency. Then Kennedy zooms out to the bigger picture. Bank failures. Too big to fail, turning into even bigger than before. He points out the irony that when banks fail, the biggest players come out stronger, while taxpayers are left guaranteeing massive losses. Kennedy questions why regulators now seem to let banks collapse publicly instead of handling problems quietly to prevent panic. He warns that healthy banks are incentivized to wait, scoop up failed banks later, and stick taxpayers with the risk. And finally, Kennedy calls out the sweetheart deals. Deals so good, he says, you could pick a random name out of the phone book and make it work, because taxpayers are guaranteeing up to 80% of the losses. This wasn't a rant. It was a warning that accountability is missing. Transparency is lacking, and the American people are the ones paying the price. If you think Senator Kennedy is right to demand answers, drop a comment below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this with friends who care about accountability and real oversight, and as always, see you in the next one.